that were in Moses, that were in Isaiah, Obadiah, Ezekiel, Micah, Malachi, Zephaniah, Zechariah, so on and so forth, are the same spirits that are in the men today that are prophets. There's the same ancient prophets back then coming in this time again. And you have 144,000 that are going to be the ones that's going to be teaching this word and this truth in the correct manner. You got something?
Yeah, quick precept. 1 Peter 3:19, by which also he, talking about Yahushua, went and preached unto the spirits in prison, which that's talking about us, man, the elect, the hopeful elect. The prison is these bodies, this flesh, which is nothing but a prison. That's why the Apostle Paul said, I know that that is within my flesh dwelleth no good thing. You know, so this is our prison. Our prison is this flesh. And that's why when Yahushua comes, he's going to do away with this flesh, and he's going to give us that new body, that incorruptible body, that immortal body, which we long for. And we're never going to die. Like Ariel used to say, High Priest Ariel used to say, we're going to live 1,000 years, and then, no, we're never going to die. Immortal means can't die. You know, that's what the word means. So we're never going to die. That's that scripture. O death, where's thy sting? The Apostle Paul said, O death, where's thy sting? We're going to have victory even over death, you know?
Right. Now, I'm going to go into the UFO part. This is an account, and it's in many accounts. There's many documents on this. So this is a well-known, established fact, accepted fact of the different Bible historians and Bible scholars. It says ancient UFOs, right? It says, now, before I read this, I'm going to say this. When that thing happened, when the Romans besieged Jerusalem, pursuant to Deuteronomy 28, pursuant to Matthew 24, don't get me wrong, Matthew 24 is talking about another destruction coming. We haven't experienced that destruction yet. So Yahushua is talking about two destructions. The destruction of Jerusalem, 70 AD, and this destruction coming now. All right? And I'm going to show you that the kingdom of heaven did not come in no 70 AD. So William Bell, if you're teaching that, then you're lost. It says ancient UFOs in 70 AD, 70 AD, AD stand for Anno Domini, which is Latin for the year of our Lord. If you don't believe me, look it up, nigga. During the siege of Jerusalem, above the temple, and we're gonna go into the temple as well. They're talking about the new temple is us. We're the new temple. The new Jerusalem that's gonna come down from heaven is us coming down, because we're gonna be beamed up, pursuant to Psalms 91, Revelation 11, and there's many other scriptures. We're gonna be beamed up. And then when the destruction takes place on Babylon, the great daughter Babylon, then we're going to come back down. We're going to see the destruction take place, and then we're going to come back down. So that part where John saw the New Jerusalem descend from heaven, that's talking about the Israelites coming back down in spaceships. Okay? It says ancient UFOs. In 70 AD, during the siege of Jerusalem, above the temple of the city, a mysterious object appeared in the sky, a bright light that was, well, it says one UFO, but other accounts say that there was more than one, a bright light that was unlike anything ancient mankind had seen. So that was a ship. See, that technology, the so-called UFO technology, that goes back to the beginning. Roman historian, and it's in Josephus. It says you can actually go to the Josephus and check it out for yourself. Roman historian Josephus, which was one of our people, wrote about chariots and troops of soldiers. Right, it was more than one. And give me the Apocrypha. You know what I want. And the Maccabees, you know where it's at. I believe it's First Maccabees 9. No, the one with they covered the sky for 40 days, 40 nights. I believe it's First Maccabees 9. Or Second Maccabees 9 or First Maccabees 5. think I got it written down. You can't find it. I mean, I can find it, but it says, all right, it says a bright light. I read that already. There you go. There you go. All right, Roman historian Josephus wrote about chariots and troops of soldiers in their armor, running about among the clouds and surrounding of cities. Now, this happened in 70 AD. In the next days, people from the region reported flying chariots in the skies. That's all I got to read on that, because there's another account in 154 BC, and that was around about the time of, you know what? Let me read that. No, I don't got to read that. I just wanted that. So go ahead and let's get the Apocrypha.
Second Maccabees chapter 5 verse 1. About the same time, Antiochus prepared his second voyage into Egypt, and then it happened that through all the city for the space almost of 40 days, sound about them 40 days, there were seen horsemen running in the air in cloth of gold and armed with lances like a band of soldiers. Now, it's not talking about actual horsemen that are on the earth running, to battle up in the heavens. It's symbolic. That was the angels in the chariots, and the color of the chariots. Some of them were white, some of them were silver, some of them were gold. Some of them had different colored stones on them. Look at that. It says, and troops of horsemen in array, encountering and running one against another with shaking of shields and multitude of pikes and drawing of swords and casting of darts and glittering of golden ornaments and harness of all sorts. Wherefore every man prayed that apparition might turn to good. Now when there was gone forth a false rumor, as though Antiochus had been dead, Jason took at the least 1,000 men and suddenly made an assault upon the city, and they that were upon the walls being put back, and the city at...
So they knew that the UFOs, the so-called UFOs, were the angels. They knew that because they said, oh, the angels are here. Now let's go and kick Esau's ass.
The city at length taken, Menelaus fled into the castle, but Jason slew his own citizens without mercy, not considering that to get the day of them of his own nation would be a most unhappy day for him. But thinking they getting his own people, yep, low life. But thinking they had been his enemies and not his countrymen whom he conquered. Howbeit for all this he obtained not the principality, but at the last received shame for the reward of his treason, and fled again into the country of the Ammonites. In the end thereof he had an unhappy return, being accused before Aretas, the king of the Arabians, fleeing from city to city, pursued of all men, hated as a forsaker of the laws, and being had an abomination as an open enemy of his country and countrymen, he was cast out into Egypt. Thus he that had driven many out of their country perished in a strange land, retiring to the Lacedaemonians, which were Israelites, and thinking there to find succor by reason of his kindred. Right, the Lacedaemonians are the Spartans. So this devil.
This is Sparta. This is Sparta. Well, those are Israelites in that book, in the movie 300. That's why King Leonidas had that big, bushy, long beard, and he was proud to wear the beard, unlike some of you jokers out there.
Yeah, including Barack from the HODC. I mean, he got a beard, but that dude got a bald head, man.
No, I think he got no. But I see here he's bald, but he's balding over here too. You can see that here. Like one thing I give to them guys, like Bunyamyan, he's straight up bald, and he got hair on the side of his head. And Jake don't want that look. You know, you look like Mr. Slate, with that look. So that's what Jake does. Instead of having that ball with the hair around it, they'll cut the whole thing bald because it's acceptable. Now that's also in the scriptures about the Greekish fashion. That's the Greekish fashion.
Well, I take that back. It says
I checked it, man. I'll be like, I kind of get the anger. I said, nah.
It says
Well, at least he got the bid. At least he got the bid.
Says, does he that had driven many out of the country perished in a strange land, retiring to the Lacedaemonians and thinking there to find succor by reason of his kindred?
Oh, succor, that's a heavy. That word succor is a heavy word, man. That word succor means a benefits, someone to help you out. Now Jake is going to take that chip because it's succor, because they want to keep getting succor, and that's why a lot of them didn't circumcise their children and went to the place of exercise and wore a hat, all right, because they were getting that succor, they were getting benefits. That's why niggas don't want to leave to go to Africa, because you got benefits over there. Right. They might be saying, I don't know if they got benefits. They got food stamps in Africa. See, you niggas, if you lose a job, you got food stamps, you got welfare, you got Section 8, you got Medicaid. Hell, you got pretty much every goddamn thing.
Yeah, that was it on the chariot part. I got a precept for a chariot. Oh, okay, go ahead.
No, it's just there's a fresco. Now, I saw this on the video last night. It's entitled UFOs and Extraterrestrials in Art History. It says a 14th century fresco of the Madonna and Child depict on the top right side the image of a UFO hovering in the distance. Now this,
in the ancient world, they actually made coins. They minted a coin,
right?
A couple of coins with the UFO on it, man. So yeah. The UFO is nothing new.
That's right. Even in this 15th century painting, I think Leonardo da Vinci painted it of it's Renaissance art. But even in that, if you look at the painting in the background, you'll see a chariot, and we'll put it there so you can see it. You'll see clearly a chariot flying in the distance. So that's another evidence of, or more evidence of the chariots. That's all I have to say.
I gotta read this. 2 Maccabees 3 and 24. This is dealing. I'm starting at 23. Nevertheless, Heliodorus executed that which was decreed. Now, as he was there present himself with his guard about the treasury, the Lord of spirits and the Prince of all power caused a great apparition, so that all that presumed to come in with him were astonished at the power of the Most High, and fainted and were so afraid. For there appeared unto them an horse with a terrible rider upon him, and adorned with a very fair covering. And he ran fiercely and smote at Heliodorus with his forefeet. And it seemed that he that sat upon the horse had complete harness of gold. Moreover, 2 other young men appeared before him, notable in strength, excellent in beauty, and comely in apparel, who stood by him on either side, and scourged him continually, and gave him many sore stripes. They were kicking his ass. And Heliodorus fell suddenly onto the ground, and was compassed with great darkness. But they that were with him took him up, and put him into a litter. Thus him that lately came with a great train, and with all his guard into the said treasury, they carried out, being unable to help himself with his weapons. If I get to my weapons, Khan. It says, and manifestly they acknowledge the power of the Most High. For he by the hand of the Most High was cast down and lay speechless with all hope of life. Damn.
Because the angels didn't always kill you. They just come. Sometimes the Most High said, just go on there and beat the shit out of them. Go whip him. Give him a natural ass whipping. You know?
All right. So, I mean, that you get the point on that. This is Exodus chapter 40, verse 34. Then a cloud covered the tent of the congregation, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. That cloud was a chariot, a so-called UFO. And this is after we came out of Egypt. It says, and Moses was not able to enter into the tent of the congregation because the cloud abode thereon, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. And when the cloud was taken up from over the tabernacle, the children of Israel went onward in all their journey. But if the cloud were not taken up, then they journeyed not until the day that it was taken up. For the cloud of the Lord was upon the tabernacle by day, and fire was on it by night, in the sight of all the house of Israel throughout all their journeys. So pretty much during the day, the chariot appeared as a cloud, and then at night it was the lights would be turned on, and that's why they refer to it as a burning flame. You know, that's how the chariots come. That's why this devil Christopher Columbus called it St. Elmo's fire, because they saw the actual lights from the chariots.
There's an account, if you go to the history of UFOs, there's an account, the account of Christopher Columbus is in there. Christopher Columbus and another gentleman, and they would and a UFO kept coming back and forth. And I believe the UFO was leading them to America. All right. Oh, another account of the 70 AD when the UFOs came down, it said that one of the UFOs, it didn't say whether they said it in the Hebrew or in the Latin or whatever, but it said, leave hence. So that was Yahweh Shai saying, look, send down the angel and tell them to leave, get out of here, you know. But if I go into I was going into it heavy last night, and I was going to do a thing. I said, man, if I do that, I'll be a, you know, I try to cut things short, man, you know. Hey, this knowledge is coming out, man. This knowledge is coming out, and this is the only place you're going to get it. You're not going to get trips to Israel. You're not going to get trips to Great Adventures or Disney World. You're not going to get T-shirts. You're not going to get rap videos. All right, you're not going to get a song and dance. All right,
gimmicks.
You're not going to get gimmicks. You know what you're going to get here at the Apostles of Great Millstone and the other elders out there in the other states, the other leaders and the teachers and the captains and the generals. You're going to get the truth, man. All these different videos. And like the other day, there was like 3 or 4 live shows going on at the same time. Yeah, come. You know what I'm saying? Come. And you know, you can't watch all of them. You just say, look, I'll watch it tomorrow, whatever. I'll watch it, you know? Anyway. And then I get ready to do a live. I said, there's 4. I ain't going to do no, you know. I might watch a show and call a brother and, you know, say what I got to say, you know? But anyway, it says here in Zechariah 5:1, then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. That's a so-called UFO. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll, because the angels always talk. When they came down in the ship, when the ship came down to proclaim that Yahweh Shai was his beloved son in whom he is well pleased, the UFO had a speaker system and it spoke. All right. When the UFO, that gigantic UFO came down in John the 10th chapter, he spoke to John. All right. So here it is again. Here's the so-called chariot or the so-called UFO talking. It says 2, Zechariah 5:2. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And that's the ship with the speaker system, for lack of a better term. What do you see? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. 3rd verse. Then said he unto me, the operator in the ship was obviously was an angel. This is a curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. 4th verse. I will bring it forth, saith Yahweh of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, which is Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely, this devil,